Assalamu alaikum dear students. In previous lecture we discussed the algebra of complex numbers. Today we are going to discuss the powers of iota. Since we know that the symbol iota, that is I, equals to root of minus 1. Now if we square this equation on both sides, it is simply iota square equals to minus 1. Now multiplying this equation, that is iota square equals to minus 1 by iota, it is simply iota into iota square. It is minus 1 into iota, that is iota cube is minus iota. Now minus iota is root of minus 1, that is iota cube is root of minus 1, or simply minus iota. Now again multiplying by this equation second by iota, it is iota into iota, that is iota 4. It is minus iota into iota, iota square. Now iota square is minus 1 by equation first, it is minus 1 into minus, that is plus 1. So iota is root of minus 1, iota square is minus 1, iota cube is minus iota, and iota raised 4 is 1. Now similarly, if we have iota 5, it is simply iota 4 into 1, because when bases are same in multiplication, powers or exponents are added. It is iota 4 is 1, so it is simply iota. Iota 6 is iota 4 iota square. Iota 4 is 1, iota square is minus 1, so value is minus 1. Iota 7 is iota 4 into iota cube. Iota cube, we know it is minus iota, it is simply minus iota. And iota 8 is iota 4 into iota 4, that is 1. So generally if we have number which is greater than 4, there are 4 possibilities for this number. That is, if iota raised power n, where n is greater than 1 and this n is of the form of 4k plus 1, that is, on dividing this n by 4, the remainder is 1 like in 5. The value is simply iota 4, because we can write this iota n as 4k plus 1, that is iota 4k into iota. Now iota 4k is simply iota 4 raised power k, which is 1 raised power k, that is 1 into iota, hence value is iota. Similarly, if we have the number of the form of 4k plus 2, its value is minus 1, like in iota raised power 6. For iota equals to 4k plus 3, that is number of the form of this 4k plus 3, number of the form of 4k plus 3, the value is iota raised power 4k into iota 3. Now iota 3 is simply here minus iota, that is why its value is minus iota. Now the fourth possibility is when 4 divides n, that is the remainder is 0. When a remainder is 0, power is multiple of 4. When power is multiple of 4, the value is 1, like in iota raised power 8. So simply we firstly find, if we have to find the power, any power or the large power of this iota, we simply divide the given number by 4 and find its remainder. When the remainder is 0, value is 1. When remainder is 2, value is minus 1. When remainder is 3, value is minus iota. And when remainder is 1, the value is iota. So in this way you can find the powers, any power of iota. Now you know that the square roots of the positive numbers, like if we consider the equation of the form of x square plus 2. Now when we take roots on both sides, its value or the roots are simply x equals to plus minus root 2. That is, this equation, quadratic equation, x square equals to 2 is satisfied, or its roots are x equals to root 2 and x equals to minus root 2. Now these numbers x equals to root 2 and x equals to minus 2 are simply called as the square roots of 2. Now if we consider the general equation x square equals to a, where a is positive number, then clearly its roots are x equals to plus minus root a, that is, its solutions are x equals to plus minus root a, two solutions, because it is quadratic equation. So any equation or any value of x which satisfies this equation, x square equals to a, it is called as the square root of a. Square root of a. Now the square root of a, there are two square roots, one the positive, that is root a, and second minus root a. So this was in the real set. Now if we consider the equation of the form of x square equals to minus 1. Now in a real system, this is not defined, or its solutions does not exist, or its roots does not exist, because it is quadratic equation, its discriminant is 0. Now we know that iota equals to root of minus 1, iota square is minus 1, and minus iota square is also minus 1. So this means that if we put iota equals to minus 1 here, this x equals to minus iota, and x equals to plus iota in equation second. So clearly it is satisfied. When it is satisfied, means that iota and minus iota are the roots of this equation. When they are roots, this iota and minus iota are simply called as the square root of minus 1. Similarly, if we consider the general equation x square equals to minus a, x square equals to minus a, then we can write this minus a as minus 1 into a. So here this a becomes positive, which implies that x equals to plus minus root minus 1 into a. You know that for any two real numbers a and b, root of a into b is root a into root b if and only if both are positive, or at least one is positive, or at most one is positive, which implies that here we can break here root of minus 1 into root of a. Root of minus 1 is simply iota, which implies that this equation is satisfied by iota root a and minus iota root a. Minus iota root a. These values, that is root a iota and minus iota root a, are simply called as square roots of this negative number a, are called as the square roots of this negative number a. So this was for the positive, and this is for the negative, and these are always the square root of negative real numbers is always complex number, purely complex number, or purely imaginary complex number, while as square root of this positive real number is always a real number, is always a real, purely real number. So thank you.